Hey everyone, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means? That means I'm on Tumblr. So for those of you who are aware of my schedule, I keep a tight schedule. You've used the hashtag KatieFAQ, and I found your questions, and I'm gonna answer them. But before I answer them, also I have a journal topic, so stay tuned till the end. I wanted to talk because we have a lot of new people on my website, on all of my different social media outlets. Is that what you call them? So we have a lot of new people, and I don't think I've done anything recently where I've been able to tell you guys kind of the rules. And I hate to call it the rules, but our community is loving and supportive, and we're there to help, and we're there to spread positive awareness about recovery and getting help and all of that sort of thing. And I haven't mentioned in a long time kind of the rules of the website and of any of my social media sites. And mainly the rules I have, if you want to, and I actually posted something on my website this morning. So if you've gotten on, you've seen my post. But I just want to make everybody aware of the fact that, number one, when we post things on there, please don't post numbers. To do with weight, height, amount that you did of running or eating or whatever. We have a no number zone, and if it's worked into your blog and you need to use it, just put an X there where the number would be. Also, we just want to post positive information, not triggering, not hurtful. I don't want anybody fighting on my website. And so some of you may have noticed I may have removed some of your posts, and I may have edited some things out before I approved it. So just keep that in mind. And it's nothing against any of you, and I'm not saying it's bad at all. I just haven't told anybody what the rules were in a long time. And so I realized we have new people and nobody knows, and I haven't said anything. So I'm sorry if you thought it was hurtful that I removed some things, but it's just in keeping with our community and keeping it safe for everyone involved, okay? And I love you all. Keep getting on, keep chatting away and doing the things, but I do monitor it. And so, if the rules are really hard for you to follow, I may have to, change some things. So let's just try to keep it happy and healthy. Okay. Without further ado, question number 1, how do you know what your triggers are and how do you address them? I thought this was a great question because I talk about it a lot, but I don't really talk about how you know. So I tell my clients when we talk about what triggers are at the very beginning, and they're like, I don't have any, I don't know what it is. I always say, when's the last time you cut? Or when's the last time you acted out on your eating disorder, whether it be binging, purging, restricting, or all of the above, right? What happened before? What happened, if it's not right before, we'll start pushing it out. Like, okay, 12 hours before, okay, the day before. Okay, what happened? And usually we can find a triggering event. Now that is how you do it. So we always have to calculate backwards. Now, a lot of times it'll be easy. It's like, well, I have an exam tomorrow. No wonder I'm stressed. Of course I acted out, right? Other times it might be more difficult. It's like, well, I guess, I did run into that guy I used to date years ago, and he said that he made a comment and I took it the wrong way, or he made a rude comment, and so I hate him and it made me all feel bad about myself. So just start doing it that way. It'll be much easier to figure out what your triggers are. And then from there, we can figure out what to do to help us in the moment when that happens. Okay? And if any of you else have helpful tips, I almost said I'm like not even speaking English. But if you have helpful tips, let us know below. As always, we can share and learn, right? Okay. Question number 2. Katie, I was wondering if you were abused as a kid once and then repressed the memory of it, would that trauma affect you in other ways as a child? For example, having nightmares, wetting the bed, fear where you actually shake because you're so afraid, and having imaginary friends. Yes, it can affect a lot of things. Wetting the bed is actually as a therapist, it's one of those huge red flags where I'm like, boop, something has happened to this child, because we tend to, when we get abused, we tend to revert back. And it's actually psychologically a way our brain protects us. It's like, let's go back to a time when people paid more attention to us and things were safer. And oftentimes that means like reverting back to before we were potty trained. And people can wet the bed, and they can feel like they have incontinence. Some people will even poop themselves or pee their pants. And so it's really embarrassing for people. But know that if this is something that's happened to you, it's not abnormal. It's actually very common. And as a therapist, we're supposed to ask those questions and help you understand so we can kind of get you back to where you are and, more of a healthy, happy way. Okay. Another question was having nightmares. That's very common, especially if you've been abused, because it's like a trauma response. It's all part of kind of a PTSD. And if you wanted to even Google it, you'll see that all of these can be kind of what they call side effects of having that happen. What else was it? Yeah, fear is very common, especially if the abuse was aggressive or painful and scary in any way. We often don't feel safe a lot, and many times I have patients who have tons of locks on their doors even when they live on their own or away from the person who was the abuser. That's very common. And imaginary friends, of course that's common, because first of all, people have it when they're children because we have a very vivid imagination, which is something we sadly lose when we become older. But imaginary friends can be that friend or that person we can confide in and we can talk to. And a lot of kids who have traumatic upbringings, whether it's abuse or many other things, they'll have that friend there as kind of a help and a support and way to get through the tough times. So that's very common. And if you haven't got the Courage to Heal workbook, I would encourage you to pick that up. Final question. And I thought this was like a good question, and I thought about answering it privately, but then I was like, dude, everybody's asking this question, just answer it. So the question is, why stop self-harming if it helps? So that's a great question. Why stop self-harming if it helps? And then another person had asked, can self-harm cause any permanent damage? Both kind of leading to the same question. It can help, right? It helps alleviate whatever's going on, but does it really solve anything? I guess that's my question to you. Does self-harm actually solve the problem? Does it make the issue, the trigger go away? Does it make you feel better long term? Probably not. It's kind of like with drugs and alcohol when I have clients who struggle with that. A lot of times it's, it numbs me out for so long till I pass out or whatever, and then nothing. And then my problem's back. I wake up and I'm still going through the same shit. And so oftentimes I'll tell my clients, you don't have to stop. I'm not telling you have to stop, but is this something you want to do when you get married or have kids or just when you're older? Is it something you want to do in college and you want to always have to try to sneak and find time to do it and ways to hide it? And how do you explain it? If that's something you're fine with, then fine, we won't work on it. And if the issues that caused it aren't things that you want to get better, we don't have to work on it. I don't see anything in our life as something that we have to get better in. You have to stop. And I think that's why I talk about it being a process and not perfection, is because I want you to be healthy and happy. And I don't believe that those things that we're doing, those coping skills we're using that are unhealthy, are actually leading us to a happy, healthy life. So I guess that's just my answer. And your thoughts, you can leave your comments below what your thoughts are, but I feel like that's fair. I'm not forced. I don't feel like anybody has to be forced to stop, or you need to stop self-harming or using your eating disorder or anxiety, depression, anything. But if you're not happy and it's causing you a lot of grief and a lot of struggles, and whatever happened to make you want to use it is still happening or still bugging you, then you deserve better. So that's what we're working on, because we deserve better, and we can get it, and we can fight, and we can win. So yeah, those are my thoughts. As far as the permanent damage, not really, unless you A, cut really deep and never get any medical attention, or B, get a really bad infection. And I've had clients have both, and that can cause a lot of issues. So please, 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 if you've cut deeply and you're worried or something's not healing properly, it keeps getting infected or pus is coming out of it or anything, please go to the doctor. Please, 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 because it's really scary, okay? And I worry. So make sure you get that checked out, okay? My journal topic today, because I'm rambling. Blah. So I was in yoga the other day. My teacher said, because we were in child's pose, which is like my favorite pose of all time in yoga, because you can just pretty much sleep. She was saying, notice how you, and I even breathed just then, just thinking about it. She's like, notice how when you breathe, you're breathing into your back, and how easy it is right now for you to breathe into your back and expand your back and your rib cage. And it felt really good. When she said that, I was like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. This feels really good. I feel like I'm really stretching it out. And she was like, different poses and different positions that we'll put our body in make it easier to get into certain portions and to breathe into certain parts of our body that are lacking oxygen. And I was like, life's a lot like that. There's certain positions and certain places we can be and things we can get into that really help us heal parts of ourselves and parts of our body, our mental body, right? Because it's all connected and we have to heal it all. And I made some notes because I do that, because otherwise I forget things. And I was saying we can apply this to life because being in therapy can help us be more open and really heal certain things. And then being in group therapy can help us heal in other ways and share other things. Also, being with friends, because there are certain things I'd want to talk with my friends about that I wouldn't want to talk to anybody else really about because they're my friends and, they get me. And even being in our happy place, like being at the ocean or being in a park or being around animals. I personally love animals and going to like the pound or pet stores, it's amazing. And it can help us heal parts of ourselves. So I want you to take some time this week to think about the different places and positions you can put yourself in that can help heal those things that have been hurting you most. And like I said, always share with me. Tweet it to me, send me pictures on Instagram. You can leave your comments below and let me know because I really like to know that stuff, okay? I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I'll be on the website and I'll be on YouTube, so make sure to answer your question or ask your questions below this or on the website under Community Forums Q&A for videos, okay? See you then. Bye.